What's up, you guys? It is Battle from 105.9 The Rock, Nashville's classic rock, and iHeartRadio's official wrestling podcast, the Battleground Podcast. And we all know that WWE is making their return to Nashville this Monday night for Monday Night Raw live at the Bridgestone Arena. And it's funny, today our guest on the show actually reminded me in Facebook memories that she was here around this time last year for NXT Vengeance Day. Give it up for our guest, Lyra Valkyria is on the show. How are you doing?
I'm doing great. Thanks so much for having me on.
Thanks for coming on the show. So, we're going to have some fun. And first and foremost, let me start by saying congratulations on becoming the first ever women's Intercontinental champion. Can you share your journey through this tournament and what this achievement means to you personally and professionally? Because you've now etched your name in the history books of that title.
Yep. If it all ends tomorrow, no matter what, I will always be the first ever women's Intercontinental champion. So it's very easy getting to sleep knowing that I've pulled that off at such an early stage in my career.
Yeah, and it's going to be awesome. And just to see that in the record books, holding that up there, going to be good for you for sure. And of course, you've got your hands full this coming Monday with Monday Night Raw. I know they recently announced that it's going to be you versus Bayley, Elimination Chamber match. I want to go back in time for a second because this is all over the internet. I want to go back to a tweet from May 12th of 2017 from your Twitter account saying, imagine one day being able to make someone feel how I felt meeting Bayley. Now that would be amazing. Now you're getting in the ring with her on Sunday. Like, full circle moment, mind-blowing. How are you feeling with this?
It's so crazy. You know, when those tweets come up, I don't even know about them now at this point. You know, they're like news to me when I'm like, oh my God, I tweeted this. But 100%, I remember meeting Bayley. I was already wrestling at that point, and I just happened to have had a match that really didn't go my way. And I remember we were towards the back of the line to meet her, and Bayley, she asked us to step aside, and she spoke to me and really, really picked me up. She spoke to me about her feelings about, you know, some of her matches. She told me that, you know, good and bad is never gonna go away. You're gonna be feeling the ups and downs your whole career. She gave me some really, really lovely advice. So I always remember that. I didn't remember tweeting that particular tweet, but I was like, oh my God, like what a full circle moment. And I have so many of these. I swear I'm saying this is my biggest match ever, or this is the match that means the most to me. I feel like I say that every week now. Mm-hmm. So I'm so excited to go back to Nashville on Monday.
Yeah, absolutely. It's going to be fun. Of course, you can still grab tickets right now, Ticketmaster.com. And, you know, we put things out in the universe because things happen on this show. Let's say you go on, you beat Bayley. I mean, Lyra could be a double champ by the end of the year. You know, you have the Intercontinental title, you win Elimination Chamber.
What is impossible anymore? Like, right. WWE is on Netflix. Becky Lynch came down to NXT, and I wrestled her for the NXT Women's Championship. I'm taking on Bayley. Like, there's a Women's Intercontinental Championship now. Like, oh my God, the sky is the limit now for the women's division, for me, for what could happen on the road to WrestleMania. So who knows what is going to happen? Maybe I will go on to the Elimination Chamber. Maybe I will win the Elimination Chamber and go on to WrestleMania and become a double champion. Not the first time it's happened. So who knows? I'm not writing myself off for anything.
Absolutely. And we're not going to say maybe you go on. We're going to say you are going to go on. We're not saying maybe on this show. You are going to get that championship. You're going to go on and you're going to hit WrestleMania. You're going to be a two-time champion. You're going to be walking around with all the belts, and everybody in TSA is going to have to stop you and be like, excuse me, what's in your bag? Oh, nothing, just 2 belts of mine. You know, no big deal, right?
Yeah, I'm not gonna bigger bag.
So I want to kind of go back to this here recently at the Royal Rumble. We're watching it in my house, and my wife is starting to kind of slowly get into wrestling because my 7-year-old's a big wrestling fan. And during the Royal Rumble, there was a little bit of an incident with your gear. And my wife is like, why are they beating her up? She's trying to put everything back together. And like, she didn't understand what was going on. I had to kind of explain to her. But how did you manage to maintain your composure and, you know, of course, Liv's quick thinking, hey, let me just push her over here?
Yeah, I've never been so happy to be hit in the face. So yeah, it definitely wasn't ideal. Especially I've never had that happen ever. So I was like, oh yeah, of course it would be in the Royal Rumble. Why not? Like my biggest show ever. Of course my top will fall off. But look, it is what it is. It was completely out of my control. There wasn't much I could do about it. Handled it the best way I could. We can't focus on things like that. Still got to run the ramp. Great ramp, by the way. Nice big long run there. And as Intercontinental Women's Champion, got to do that with the title around my waist. Pretty cool. I'm taking the wins.
Hey, go for it. And that was what my wife was asking. She's like, why are they beating her up? She's trying to fix things. And I was like, just keep watching. It's fine. Like, she was on your side the entire time. She's like, I would hit them back. And I'm like, well, you can't hit people back. You're watching on TV. But yes, we're talking about WWE Monday Night Raw coming back to Nashville, Bridgestone Arena. And, a lot of things in WWE has been really cool. You see over the past year, you got called up to the main roster. How is the transition from going to NXT to the main roster influence maybe your wrestling style, character development?
I feel like NXT is such a faster pace. Whereas on the main roster, I feel like I have more kind of I suppose room for creativity. A lot of the time, even just traveling week to week, I don't know. There's just a lot more space. I feel like in NXT, you're in the PC every single day, so I just feel like the lifestyle of Monday Night Raw suits me a whole lot more, and I get to see so much more of the states. I get to travel. I'm absolutely loving it.
Yeah, and it's great to see you every week, and especially defending that women's Intercontinental Championship for sure. And again, WWE coming to Nashville, Bridgestone Arena this Monday night. Still grab tickets, Ticketmaster.com. And the thing that you've noticed here recently, and a lot of people are taking notice, the WWE Universe has seen the rise of dominant female figures within the company. How do you plan to distinguish yourself and make a unique mark in the women's division amidst all this formidable talent?
There's so much talent right now, and I think we're entering an era where you've got a mixed bag of so many different styles, so many different women who thrive in different areas. Um, for me, I feel like you could get in your head if you were trying to compare yourself to other people. um, I think I have to just focus on me and put my best foot forward. And for me, it's more about doing work that I am proud of, and having a career that I'm going to be happy with when I look back on. Because I'm never going to look back on my career and going, well, I was doing this, well, this person was doing this. It's just going to be about being proud of what I've done. So yeah, I think there's there's always going to be competition. That's good. Um, Especially in the locker room we have right now, everyone's very supportive of each other, but there is that still level of competition, which is something that I love. Um, but I can't compare myself to other people. I'm going to do my best just thinking about what I'm putting out there. So
Yeah,
mm.
absolutely, for sure. And of course, you look at the women's division and it's stacked. There's enough titles, and I know we've talked about this previously before. There's enough titles in the women's division that there can be a women's PLV or PLE comeback. Is that something that maybe as a champion you kind of got Triple H's ear and be like, hey, let's do this
Yeah,
again?
I would absolutely love to see that. It could be the time. You look down at NXT, you've got the women are the main stars on the show there. And it could be no different here. We've got two whole new titles. You've got Chelsea Green over on SmackDown. You've got me here. We're again, just like that, we're two very different performers. And we're all, there's two locker rooms full of women that are just waiting to take their shot to step up and show what they've got. So I think an all women's pay per view would be, again, a great thing to showcase a lot of people that don't get as much time on Monday Night Raw.
Yeah, absolutely. And you talk about the women's locker room and NXT main eventing, and I mean, you go back, and I'm been watching wrestling for years. When you go back to when I was a kid, the women's wrestling didn't get very much time on TV, and now you're sitting here seeing it main event Raw, main event SmackDown, NXT, PLEs, WrestleMania, and it's a really cool thing to see how far the women's division has came and how it's jumping leaps and bounds over breaking the barriers from in the past.
Yeah, 100%. Like we've, I think around the time where, you know, the Give Divas a Chance era was exploding, we've gone from that to having like the four horsewomen, to having, you know, a massive call up, a change in how women are portrayed on WWE. Women, all women's pay-per-views, women main eventing WrestleMania, and to the point where that really needed the focus. Now we're at the point where it's normal. It's just normal. Like
Mm-hmm.
we're very equal, and I think that's an amazing place to be right now. I feel like you know, women's wrestling is just wrestling, and we're at the best point we possibly can on Monday Night Raw and SmackDown. But yeah, I'm always going to want more time, more platforms, more women's opportunities. But I think we're in a very good spot right now.
Absolutely. And it's definitely fun to watch, especially now with WWE making that announcement of their partnership with TNA. So that brings even more into the locker room and more into the fold, because it's great. It's great to see that, you know, again, going into the past, WWE kind of stayed in their own little lane. They didn't have anybody in their sandbox. Now you see Omos going to Japan. You see NXT going to TNA and vice versa. So it's a really cool thing, especially to be a wrestling fan now in this day and age.
Oh yeah, 100%. I've always loved the wrestler's journey. Like I want to be traveling around, doing this 3, 4, or 5 times a week, hitting different towns, different cities. Like it's such a cool lifestyle, and you know, the energy that the different crowds bring. We're heading to Europe soon for this massive tour on the road to WrestleMania, and given like the crowd reactions that were at like Clash of the Castle and Backlash last year, and now we're going back to Paris, we're going to Glasgow, we're going to London, and like there's like I'm so excited for the energy that those crowds are going to bring. Um, so yeah, it's such an exciting time.
Definitely an exciting time, and probably an exciting time for your passport, because it's going to get stamped all over the place for all that traveling you just mentioned as well. You know, we're about to wrap things up again. WWE coming back to Nashville this Monday night, Bridgestone Arena. WWE Monday Night Raw live on Netflix and live in Nashville. Tickets still available, Ticketmaster.com. You know, we're starting to kind of see more and more things come out for the new WWE 2K25 game. We're getting a little bit of ratings here, a little bit of screenplay here. Now, last year, your rating was at number 80. Now that you're a champion, do you have a little leverage to be like, hey, we need to kind of bump that rating score up?
I don't think leverage, but I did see showcase me with my Saudi Arabian gear that I had for the Queen of the Ring tournament finals. That was very, very cool to see. So like no matter what the rating, that being in the game, pretty freaking cool.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, not many people can say I'm in a video game. So you can say that. You can say I'm in a video game, I have action figures, I have t-shirts. So you can say a lot of things that some people don't have. And last but not least, we always like to have a little fun. We end the show with a fun little question. If you could steal one WWE Superstar's entrance, theme song, and all, who would it be? And how would you make it even better? How would you put your spin on it?
Oh, that's easy. Julia from NXT. I think her entrance song is so like haunting and beautiful, and but it's got that like kick behind it as well. I think it matches like someone who's known as the Beautiful Madness perfectly, but like that kind of style is the music. I love it so much. And when she comes out, I think she's like it's so cool. So I would take her music, add my entrance and my big wings. I think you got something really cool there.
Ooh, let's now that we can do stuff like that in WWE, create a character and all this other stuff, we might have to just match that up. I'm sure somebody out there on the internet can make this happen and put it up there so we can see how awesome this would look. So, real quick before we let you go, is there anything you want to say to people watching or listening to this right now?
Just be sure to not miss this Monday in Nashville. We've got 2 massive Elimination Chamber qualifying matches. I'm taking on a dream match with Bayley. We've got Logan Paul versus Rey Mysterio. Just like I feel like you really can't miss a second nowadays on the road to WrestleMania. So I really hope everyone's really excited. I hope the Nashville crowd brings the same energy. And yeah,